your host with White Labs, an e-commerce marketing agency. Today's guests, I have Matt and Sean. Matt, feel free to let our viewers know a little bit about yourselves and share a little bit of about your brand and your background.
Yeah, cool. So, hi, I'm Matt. I co-founded Roots and Culture back in 20 with a good friend of mine, Kais Hanifi. Kais isn't here today. He's the boots on the ground, so he couldn't make time, but he would have loved to be here. Maybe next time. Roots and Culture started back in 20 when my buddy Kais called me and he said, "Hey, I got a Virginia Department of Agriculture hemp cultivation license." And he called me because I was doing a horticulture PhD at the time. And he was like, "Hey, buddy, I think you could help me start this business and help me actually grow these plants properly." I was over the moon because hemp and cannabis have been a passion of mine basically my whole life. And I believed in their healing power, not just believed, but through personal experiences, I'd witnessed their healing power, and I really wanted to explore this industry in my own career. And when Kais said that he had the permits to do it, we basically just took off and we found a farm and then we started growing hemp. And over the course of the last 5 years, we've managed to grow a business too. So I'm going to turn it over to Sean and he can tell you a little bit more about the brand building.
Perfect.
Yeah, so when I jumped into the team, I had been doing previous entrepreneurial things like creating a VR company, doing my own graphics. I was a freelance graphic designer. When I got the call from Kais, "Hey, we're trying to create a brand out of this company. We're trying to sell our stuff not just wholesale, but also in packaging. So we're going to need somebody to be able to design something really cool that we can market and sell to the people." So like Matt, I am passionate about cannabis, have been for a long time. That's how we kind of all met back at UW-Madison. And so I was happy to join the team. And from there, we kind of had to decide what exactly we're trying to convey and what part of our brand or products is important to us. And I kind of took all of that, and we had a first iteration and a second iteration and many iterations of our branding since then, but we're kind of creating it as we go, and it's evolving as we grow as a company with the new products that we take on, because we want to be able to appeal to those individual consumers as well.
Awesome. Can you tell me more about the products?
Yeah, so we grow hemp and cannabis, but we also create products from the hemp and cannabis that we grow. So skincare, tinctures, pet products. We do that all we grow our hemp naturally with only water and soil. So we kind of bring that into our products as well. So try to be as all natural and as close to organic as we can with everything that we make, because we know what we ingest to our body. Our body is very important to sustain for our whole life. So we want to do the best that we can to be as healthy as we can. And we think that these products really help that.
Awesome.
I'm gonna chime in there real quick too. One of the coolest things about it was when we started, Kais and I started to grow our hemp outdoors, but growing our hemp outdoors was a huge challenge in Virginia. The climate is somewhat suitable to doing that, but there are a lot of caterpillars and other pests that tend to make it really difficult. Some farmers sidestep these problems with pesticides that are chemical based and other approaches like that. But because of our ethos that's firmly grounded in healthy products, while there are no EPA regulations for this market because it's an emerging market, we really wanted to focus on products that we would feel comfortable giving to our grandmothers. So the ethos on the growing side manifested as we're going to import a ridiculously expensive amount of soil from Oregon, where the soil quality is just perfect for growing these products. And we use the word cannabis and hemp interchangeably, but it's all high CBD hemp. So this is legally 0 or less THC. The reason we use the words interchangeably is the scientific name for hemp is cannabis sativa. Mm-hmm. And we sort of just have, over the years, we just use them interchangeably. But that's beside the point. The way we grow this stuff is the best way we could possibly grow it. We grow it indoors now, so we don't have any of the pest problems that come with outdoor farms. And because of that, we don't have to use any pesticides or any fertilizers, because what we're using is a very rich organic soil that has everything in it to grow. So yeah, that is what is underlying our skincare products now. And that's part of why our customers love them. And we really believe they have an effect that's superior to almost anyone else.
Awesome. Well, speaking of your customers, who is your target audience?
That's a good question. I mean, usually with skincare, it's targeted towards women, but we believe that, men as well need to use skincare products. So we try to make it as, balanced as possible with our branding, and just kind of approach the natural side of things. But obviously, people in between the ages of 20 and 40 is who we're kind of going for, but the range is farther than that. I mean, obviously not children, but anybody can use our products.
No, I got you. So you guys are in a super competitive industry, CBD hemp. What makes you better than your competitors?
I mean, I'll chime in first on this one. I think Sean will have some stuff to add because he's so focused on
And you've touched on it a little bit. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. He's deeper into the marketing than I am, but it's like the way we grow our products is the cleanest and safest way to grow them. And that's what we really try to emphasize, the cleanliness of these products. So many of the other products out on the market, we do have to pass mold tests and things like this. We pass with flying colors every time because we're just not growing in an environment where those pest problems create a lot of pressure. The term is used as pest pressure. So we have like zero pest pressure. That said, we also outsource the production of these products to a very skilled producer of skincare products that has been in the market or in the industry, the skincare industry, for way longer than our company has even existed. The combo of those things means we're just top tier in terms of the consistency of our products, the smells and scents that we include. They're amazing. Every time I give them to someone, they're like, wow, you should be in the spa in our town. And half the time we end up in the spa in their town. So it's a lot of business to business, but Sean focuses on the business to customer, and he can tell you more about that.
Yeah, I think we differentiate our brand through design. I think a nice, clean design that is straightforward. There's not too much going around on the labels, and it just gives you exactly what it is. And we're a small team, so I think being able to differentiate by being able to pivot quickly is very important. By being able to try new things is very important. And like Matt said, our products are top tier. So, and we usually are able to create genuine connections with the people that we talk to about it. So, through those, we get a lot of opportunity, not just on the e-com side, but just being able to talk to people, and build that connection is very important for us.
What are your guys' best selling products?
Best sellers, probably, I mean, the tinctures have been because we've had them longer than our skincare line. And so the people that have bought those, they know and they continue to buy them. But we've got an amazing skin cream. Those are going pretty fast, as well as our face serums. Got two different kinds of these, and people just rave about them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So most of our listeners and viewers are entrepreneurs. What are some challenges you guys have faced in the past few years, and how'd you overcome them?
I feel like we could talk about the challenges for quite a long time.
No, it's always the best question.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, you could probably speak to like the hoops that we have to jump through just on the regulation side of growing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll give a little bit on that. And then, Sean, maybe you can tell us about some of the e-com challenges, because I think those are really interesting too, especially to the podcast guests here or the podcast listeners. But on the regulation side, I'm sure some of the listeners are also in highly regulated or emerging markets. And emerging markets, maybe they're not highly regulated. This particular one is. But whether they are not, the regulations or the guidelines or the rules tend to evolve pretty quickly, and sometimes in ways that undermine your business like entirely. So early on, high CBD hemp was a very popular product that was selling like hotcakes and throughout the country. But then some clever chemists came up with a way to turn CBD into delta-8 THC. And delta-8 is, I'm not going to say anything too derogatory about it, but it just doesn't really fit within our ethos. We're all about the non-psychotropics, in other words, non-inebriating cannabinoids. We just see enough therapeutic and sort of just like enjoyment potential from those that we don't feel we need to step into the potentially more dangerous psychotropic side, at least not at this stage of our business. That said, we have to to test our product at least once every time before we harvest it. We have to notify state regulators every time we plant. We have to have inspections and other things like this periodically. And we try to do our very best to stay compliant because, especially in this industry, I think one of the things that differentiates you as a brand and establishes you as trustworthy is being very transparent about your willingness to participate in that process. So yeah, we have to do a lot of that stuff, and it actually costs us quite a bit to operate within the guidelines, but we stay within them just because it's our ethos. Yeah, Sean, you should tell us about the e-com stuff because it's been a journey.
Yeah. So on top of those tests that we have to take, our payment processor goes through Square, and Square has to make sure that we're also complying on those regulations as well. So we have to test each one of the different products that we have, which costs money for each one. So that's a big pain, especially when we are constantly creating new products, seeing what sticks, what's good. But then, so when that happens, since we are a hemp business, they kind of hold our money until we get them everything they need. So that can take some time as well. The Square side, we used to be solely on Square, so that was the one monthly payment that we had to do. But we recently moved over to Shopify because we saw some opportunity with Shopify. But that also comes with some caveats, like we can't sign up for Shopify payments because we are a company, so we need a special third party payment processor, and those guys surprisingly are just a middleman for Square. So we had to keep Square. We also have to pay for the third party guys as well as Shopify now. So in that transition over from Square to Shopify, we're paying kind of 3x what a monthly payment is just to have a store, an online store.
No, I've been heavily involved in the marketing for cannabis, CBD, dispensaries for the last 10 years. It's a mess. I know you guys are going through, and it's a journey, right?
Yeah, yeah. We can't even have like Instagram or Facebook shop
No,
because
yeah.
of that as well. So
Still, until it's legal by the federal government, you guys are kind of in the gray area, right?
yeah,
Until
and
something happens. So,
yeah.
what are some successful ways you've done online to promote the brand, or just successful things you've done online, and not even online, but in general to promote the brand?
Yeah, so another challenge is not being able to have ads
Mm-hmm.
on our different social media platforms. So we have to be organic with social media. So that's really our biggest challenge is how do we get across to the people on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. And we found that Instagram is our biggest, that's where we have the most followers, and that's where we have the most engagement. So that's where we kind of put most of our energy.
And you're not shadow banned?
No, we're not.
Okay,
We are
good.
not. But
Good.
like I constantly see other companies with like CBD gummies and stuff that do have ads, and I've done a lot of research about this, and I'm like, how are they able to do that? So that's still something that we're looking into is, there are some loopholes. If we can actually figure out the loopholes, we have to decide, are they worth it to take,
Mhm.
because we don't want to get shadow banned.
What is some advice you could give some aspiring entrepreneurs that are looking to get into the cannabis industry?
I'll trim on this one a little bit. Your passion is probably going to be your biggest asset. Your network is going to be super important for you launching that brand. Like one of the things that we did for early customers was kind of just talking to friends and family and figuring out if they knew people at shops or anywhere we could sort of get our foot in the door. But beyond that, I think it's really important that you ask yourself the question, as this industry kind of comes into the fold of like the normal commerce of the rest of our economy, how can you be a part of making sure that this industry doesn't shoot itself in the foot? Sometimes I see brands out there that are doing things that, at least the way I see it, they're trying to make a quick buck, and they might actually be undermining the future of this industry in doing so. For example, if you are aggressive enough with signing up for Instagram ads and all these other things, yeah, you can maybe get maybe even a few million views before suddenly you're completely shut down. But also you create sort of a climate where it becomes dangerous for all the other people following the rules, because maybe all of us could get banned. And I think there's a responsibility there to just, especially in this industry, to just do your best to stay within the lines, like in as many ways as possible. Obviously, it's not always possible to be like 100% compliant, but use common sense and really think about like if you want to put food on your table for more than a few years doing this, you really have to have not just that short-term vision, but that medium and long-term vision too. Sean, you have anything to add on this one?
I mean, any advice I would say is probably, it could go for any industry. It's just don't give up. If you have a passion for it and you love doing it, just be consistent and don't give up, because there's plenty of times that when you're an entrepreneur running your own business that you might say, oh, I need to go get a 9 to 5, or I mean, and we all do that too, but we stick with our passion, and because we know that can be something big. Well, and not, if not big, it's something that we're creating that is important for us.
Awesome. What is your guys' future plan and the future plan for the brand?
Well, do you want to talk about future legalization, Matt?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in broad strokes, our long-term plan, Virginia is in the process of legalizing like recreational cannabis for adult use over 21. We're active in the process of helping this legislation come to fruition. There are all kinds of issues. While the state passed a law that should lead to a legal market, there are a lot of parts of that law that make it basically the community's responsibility to create a regulatory framework in the state to actually get that going. So we're working on that. Long term, we really do hope to pivot into that as well. Obviously, that would be a state market at first, but if at all possible, we'd love to become a national brand. We really believe that we grow the actual plant on a level that like very few people are capable of. And I credit the amazing educators at University of California, Davis, and other places where and the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where the three of us went for undergrad. I studied plant science at both of those schools, and they really taught me how to approach growing this plant from a very scientific point of view. And we just think that we can be a solid player, even in a national market. But beyond that, we want to stick to our ethos and like continue to connect to our customers and never lose that. So we're not looking for dilutive investments. We're not looking to like scale too fast. I think all these things, we want to stay who we are. And I think that's really important to us. And the other thing is we all want to quit our 9 to 5s. No more 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Is there anything you want our viewers to know that I haven't asked you guys?
Well, if you've never used CBD products before, you should give it a try. I mean, it's an amazing plant, and it comes with lots of benefits. We're not always allowed to say what those benefits are because of FDA regulations, but I mean, you can see for yourself.
Definitely.
I can tell you personally, CBD has been very helpful it's been very helpful for sleep. And also just calming down like my skin. Sometimes I get like eczema type stuff, and it really just chills me out and like chills out my skin, specifically when I apply it topically. Also, we highly recommend giving our products a try. I think Sean might have a discount code for the listeners, but yeah, he'll drop that in at the end. But if anyone wants to give our products a shot or give CBD skincare a shot, we are a great company to try first. And hey, if you want your mom to try CBD and she's a little on the fence about it, we have some products that like would push her over the edge. She'd be like, oh, this smells really nice. I want to try this on my hands. Right. She might try. So, that's kind of our promise to our customers. We will make you happy. And if we don't, get in contact with our customer service. We're the best.
Awesome, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you so much.